Hello and welcome to another episode of The Window Seat. Today we are here on the Gold Coast at the Gold Coast Car Museum. This museum features more than 75 old cars, vintage cars that comes from 1920, 1950, 1970 and all the wonderful oldies. So stay tuned for the episode today.
But they were super popular in Europe because of the small streets and the tiny parking and everything else. So they were. So this is the car that is responsible for BMW being around.
Well, I only ever produced white and green stripes. Some real ones with green.
that old is gold. It is definitely gold, because when you take a tour in this Gold Coast Car Museum, you just feel that positive vibe and the good energy that all of these old vintage cars provided.
These cars, except for the orange one which we own, but the other ones are all on loan from the Sprint Car Association. This car has half a Chevrolet V8 in it. Cisco cut a Chev V8 in half and ran it in a 4-cylinder. And this engine took over from Offenhauser, which I'm sure you guys all know Offenhauser. They were the killer engine for sprint cars.
Behind me are all the vintage cars that come from the 1960s, 70s and the 80s, and every car here has a story. So next time you're here on the Gold Coast, don't forget to visit the Gold Coast Car Museum. It's a must visit place. This is the first machine to be called a bicycle, and this was produced as the first of many of the bicycles, and you can see the huge tire that's here that was preliminarily developed to travel long distances.
Done 22,000 miles. This is a really cool car. It's the only Ram Air Cobra jet built with red on red. The only one. So it's a one-of-one car. We were in California on our way to Canada for a business meeting, and a friend of ours was in California. So we said, well, we'll meet up with you for the day, and we'll go buy a hamburger and kill some time. We were sitting having a hamburger, and we had about 4 hours up our sleeve, and we said, what are we going to do before we have to head to the airport? Somebody said, well, we should see if there's any classic car places for car sales around where we are. So I dialed up on the internet.
Hi everyone, so I have had the opportunity of meeting one of the co-creators of this place, of this amazing museum, and that's Carl. Hi Carl.
Hi.
And thanks for joining me for a quick chit chat. So first of all, I'd like to know what motivated you to start this place?
The motivation was actually probably our father. He always wanted to build a car museum, and as it's commonly known that he died when I was 16 and my brother was 14. and that never happened. So it's kind of a tribute to him. He's responsible for us loving cars, and then we sort of, when he died, we went off and did the normal thing that 16-year-olds did, and got married and started a business and did all that sort of stuff. And then about 20 years ago, we decided that we should start collecting some cars. It grew from 1 to about 70.
What an amazing tribute. And as like little kids, did you have a dream of starting like this, something like this, or did you love cars?
We loved cars when we were growing up because Dad had some. So, but it was never a dream of ours at that stage. It was a dream of Dad's. So I guess that legacy was embedded into us, and then it sort of sat in the background for many years until we were in a position where we could actually do something and share this and everything old with the people of the Gold Coast.
Amazing. And this is a tricky question. What's your favorite car?
That question gets asked about 50 times a day. It's not a tricky question. The answer is they're all favourites for their own reason. And I did an interview on radio with a lady when we first opened, and she asked me the same question. And when I said I don't know, it's very hard to pick. And she said, I guess it's like children. And I said, yep, I'm going to use that. And it is. It's like kids. Today, that kid's your favourite. Tomorrow, it's that kid. And we're kind of like that with cars. So we love them all because they're spectacular in their own right.
Amazing. And do you have maybe an unforgettable experience with one of the cars that you'd like to share?
We have lots. We do tours. I've just finished doing a tour with when we have groups. It's really hard to pick one, but what I would suggest to anyone that's watching is that if they're coming as a group, they can ask for a guided tour, and we do guided tours in which we tell stories about each car, and that could be about the car or the experience we had when we were buying it or why we bought it. Some of them are funny. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think I was able to listen to a couple of it, and then my favorite was the one where you brought the car from USA to the Canada trip
Yes.
on the way.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We bought
was-
that. We had 3 hours up our sleeves. We weren't buying any cars, and we walked away within 3 hours of buying. We bought it in about 20 minutes.
Amazing. And I just heard that this place features more than 75 cars.
Yeah. From time to it's around 70 to 75, depending on
Yeah.
which cars we've got in and which cars we move out. And then there's bikes as well, and push bikes and
Yeah.
all the other memorabilia. Lots of stuff for women, for kids.
Exactly. Amazing. And kudos to you and your brother for starting something like this, and just having it here on the Gold Coast makes it all the more amazing. So thanks, Carl, for joining me.
Thank you.
And thanks for your time as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
He's quiet the place for a delicious meal and is located right next to the Motor Museum. Check the website for more details.
So today we visited the Gold Coast Car Museum, and classic cars always compete on a different level. It's not about the efficiency or the speed, it's always about the experience, the craftsmanship, the style and the exclusivity of it. So these things are universal and timeless. So we hope you enjoyed our video today, and stay tuned for our next video with some really exciting places.